Okay, guys, today we're learning about special right triangles, okay? Special right triangles, let me unfreeze this very quickly. Special right triangles. The first type we're going to learn about are 45, 45, 90, and we're not really learning about these. We've already learned about these. This is a review from geometry. Okay, 45, 45, 90 triangles. The side across from the 90-degree angle is your hypotenuse. The side across from the 90-degree angle is your hypotenuse, and that's always true, okay? And for a 45, 45, 90 triangle, this is the hypotenuse, right? And these are the legs. So leg and leg. The legs are always equal, right? For 45, 45, 90, because I think it's the converse of the isosceles triangle theorem states if you have two angles that are congruent, then the sides opposite those two angles are also congruent. To find the hypotenuse, we know that the hypotenuse is just equal to the leg times the square root of 2, correct? So in example number 1, what is our hypotenuse? In example number 1, what is our hypotenuse? Our hypotenuse is A. So A is equal to, and what is the length of our leg? 2 square roots of 2, and that's L times what? The square root of 2. So A, which is our hypotenuse, is equal to 2 times the square root of 4, which is, so A is 4, or our hypotenuse is 4, okay? What do we know our B, or our other leg, is? 2 square roots of 2, because the legs of a isosceles right triangle, which is a 45, 45, 90 triangle, the legs are equal. And the hypotenuse is just whatever that leg is times the square root of 2. Is that clear? All right, look at example number 2. On example number 2, we know our formula. This formula, you must know this formula. It will not be given to you, that the hypotenuse is just equal to the length of whatever the leg is times the square root of 2. Now, on number 2, what is h equal to? It's 4. Our leg is, we don't know. So 4 is equal to our leg times the square root of 2. Now, how do we get our leg by itself? Divide both sides by the square root of 2. Uh-oh. We cannot, very good, Alvin, we are not allowed to have a radical in our denominator, so we're going to have to rationalize our denominator. And how do we do that?
Multiply both sides by the square root.
Very good. Multiply, or you, when you said both sides, you meant the numerator and the denominator?
Yeah.
Right? So that's going to give us 4 square roots of 2 divided by the square root of 4, and that's equal to the leg. Now, what is the square root of 4? 2. So this is 4 square roots of 2 divided by 2 is equal to the leg. And are we done? No. Can we simplify 4, 2, and the 2?
Yeah. We can simplify the 4 and the 2.
Just the 4 and the 2. We can't simplify numbers outside of the radical with numbers inside of the radical. So we can only simplify these two, Johns, and that leaves us with 2 square roots of 2 equals L. Or our leg is worth 2 square roots of 2, which means our other leg is, guess what? Just guess. 2 square roots of 2. Very good. Are there any questions? All right. Let's continue. Okay, so let's continue. So look at number 3, okay? On number 3, we know that our hypotenuse is equal to the leg times the square root of 2, right? So what's our hypotenuse? X. And what's our leg? And we need to multiply this times. So now this is x is equal to 3. So x is equal to 3. Now, if x is equal to 3, what is y equal to? Very good. 3 square roots of 2 over 2, because y is a leg, okay? And that's equal to the other leg, and the other leg is 3 squared roots of 2 over 2. Okay, I'm about to, okay? So, and then we know the formula is just hypotenuse is equal to leg times the square root of 2. Now we're just plugging in. What is the hypotenuse, Alexia? X. And what is the leg? Square roots of? And then that's times what? Times what? Okay, this is the formula. All right, this h is x, right? I just want to show this is 3 square roots of 2, right? And then finally, we need times the square root of 2, so that's what goes here. Now, when I multiply these, what do I get, Alexia? And what's the square root of 4? So this is 3 times 2, which is 6. Now, if x is 6, what is y, Alexia? Which side is y equal to? These two are equal. So that means y is equal to 3 square roots of 2. Do y'all see that? Do you have any questions about this? Anybody? You can ask me questions, because if not, we're going to 30, 60, 90. Y'all ready for 30, 60, 90? Were you trying to give that to me? Okay, thank you. Anybody ready for 30, 60, 90? All right, here we go. Let's look at number 8. We're going to start off with 8 because I think 8's easier. Okay? Not because you said 7, but because I just want to start off with the easy one, okay? So there are 2 equations we need to know for 30, 60, 90 triangles, and that is that the long leg is equal to the short leg times the square root of 3, and no, this won't be given to you. You need to know this. Long leg is equal to the short leg times the square root of 3, and the other equation is that the hypotenuse is equal to the short leg times 2. 2 equations. Long leg is short leg times the square root of 3, and that the hypotenuse is a short leg times the square root of 2. I'm sorry, times 2. Thank you. All right, so let's look and let's identify 3 things. We need to find the long leg, the short leg, and we need to find the hypotenuse, okay? So, what do we know? We're doing 8. 2 is the short leg. It's visually the short leg, and also the leg that's across from the smallest angle is the smallest side. 30 is the smallest angle, so U is the hypotenuse, and V is the, right. I'm going to, what do y'all want to find first? It doesn't matter to me. 1. So this is long leg, or, I'm sorry, what's the long leg? V is equal to the short leg, which is times the square root of 3. So that's just our answer. We found V. We would be done with this one. We found that our V, which is our long leg, is just equal to 2 square roots of 3. Now the next thing we want to find is our hypotenuse. The hypotenuse, which is U, is equal to our short leg, which is 2, times 2, so U is 4. I know, I told you we were starting off with an easy one, okay? You probably, Daniel's thinking, like, why did we set up these equations? That was unnecessary. But as these problems get more complicated, the equations will become more necessary, okay? So let's look at number 7 now. On number 7, again, we want to write these 2 equations. The first equation is that the long leg is equal to the short leg times the square root of 3. And the second equation is that the hypotenuse is just equal to the short leg times 2. So we need to identify what our long leg is, what our short leg is, and what our hypotenuse is. So what is our long leg going to be, Alexia? Do you see this right angle right here? X is the long leg, good. What is the short leg, Alexia? And what is the hypotenuse? 16. Now, since I know the hypotenuse, I'm going to go ahead and plug into that second equation first, okay? So that's going to give us h, which is 16, is equal to the short leg times 2. Now how do we get the short leg by itself? Divide by 2, and we get 8 is equal to our short leg. Any questions? Do you see that? Okay, now that we know that this short leg, or y is equal to 2, is equal to 8, we can go up here and see that our long leg, which we don't know, is equal to our short leg, which is x. You're right. Our short leg, which is 8, times the square root of 3. So that's just our answer. We can't simplify that any further. Are there any questions? Is this pretty simple? Yes? Do we remember this pretty? You know what I think it is? I think, for most of, or some of us too, we took geometry 2 years ago. Some of us, it was 1 year ago. And I feel like when you took it, it was harder then than it is now. Is that true? I think it's just because you're older, more mature, and your brain's just ready to soak up this information. Okay? I know that you laughed, and that makes me happy, but that wasn't a joke, so, but it's okay. A nutritionist? All right, let's look at number 10. On number 10.
Wait, did we finish the equation number 8 with the hypotenuse?
I think we did.
We already had the hypotenuse.
Do you see it, Alvin?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I see it now.
Okay, good. All right, so on number 10, what is our long leg going to be? Okay, what about our hypotenuse? 8 squared root of 5. Since that's the only one I know, I'm going to go over here and say 8 squared root of 5 is equal to our short leg times 2, right? So then to find our short leg, we just divide both sides by 2. And we get 4 square roots of 5 is equal to our short leg. So long leg is equal to our short leg, which is 4 square roots of 5 times the square root of 3. And remember, our long leg is our x, and our short leg is our y. Are there any questions here?
So basically we're just labeling whatever.
Right. Do y'all want to do more problems, or do you feel pretty confident with this? All right, let me do at least one more with you, and then we can move on, okay? All right, let's look at number 14. On number 14, this is long leg is equal to our short leg times square root of 3. And hypotenuse is equal to our short leg times 2. So what is the long leg here? And the short leg is? And the hypotenuse is? Good. So let's start off with this first one. Since we have long leg, we know that's 12. So this is 12 is equal to the short leg times the square root of 3. Now how do I get the short leg by itself? Divide by root 3, but uh-oh, what happens? We have a radical in our denominator. Is that allowed? Not today. So we have to multiply the numerator and denominator by the square root of 3. This gives us a short leg is equal to 12 square roots of 3 over the square root of 9. Correct? We're not quite done yet, though. We can still simplify this. That becomes 12 square roots of 3 divided by 3, which is 4 square roots of 3. Any questions on number 14? Okay, let's go to number, I'm sorry, I meant let's go to the second equation. You're right, we're not done with this problem yet. Like the second equation, this one right here. You're right. The hypotenuse is what we're looking for, and it's equal to our short leg, which is 4 square roots of 3 times 2, so the hypotenuse is equal to 8 square roots of 3. Any questions?
Okay.
Are we ready to move on?
Yes.
Okay.